physically, but metaphorically. So until it's gone or fixed, the pressure is going to be maintained from me for sure.
If you were to believe what the Amway reps tell you and the company tells you, they're basically saying that they've got all these products with literally secret recipes. So the toothpaste is better than anything else on the market. Just think about that. They've got a secret recipe to toothpaste, and you've got corporations like Colgate with all the resources in the world. Do you really think if they wouldn't have the ability to copy the Amway toothpaste exactly and make Colgate toothpaste every bit as good as the Amway toothpaste if they wanted to? It's very obvious that Colgate don't think that the Amway toothpaste is better.
Yeah, either copy it or make their own that's better. Because like you said, they have all the resources in the world. What would keep Colgate or any other large company from doing the research that Amway claims that they do? And I think they do research. It's just that how can you believe that Amway has the best researchers of anybody in the world, the best scientists and all this, and that all the other companies don't? It's just not reasonable. And
it's not reasonable to think that the Amway toothpaste is costing 2 or 3 times more than what the Colgate one is, because anything that's made in mass costs almost nothing to produce in mass. Things like toothpaste and the energy drinks they sell, they cost literally cents to make. So if it's costing Coke 3 cents to make a litre of Coke, which is what it costs, it can't possibly cost anywhere near $12 or $15 a litre for Amway energy drinks. It just doesn't make any sense at all. The reality is that Amway is making higher margins than what companies like Coca-Cola are making.
Yeah, I can believe that it costs Amway a little bit more. I mean, let's say even double. If Coke is 3 cents, maybe Amway is 6 cents. But still, because of the pricing, the end price, they're making a much larger profit than Coke, because Coke is putting out a lot more volume, and so that allows them to buy the materials cheaper and all of that, the ingredients, all of that when you buy in bulk. And when you use your machines more on a 24/7 basis and you get the money back from that investment, you can actually make the product cheaper per bottle or whatever you're selling. But I don't think that the price is significantly different to produce. But typically the end price, the retail price, even the IBO price, is much more than a similar non-Amway product. So I do take your point that Amway's markup is much greater than Coke, for example. And
I think the reason is because the products are really continuing franchise fee. So rather than charging you $500,000 on day one, they charge you almost nothing on day one. But then you've got to continually pay this franchise fee through the buying of products. So, people are paying an extra $100 a week for groceries. And the reason why they're paying that is in the form of a sort of a franchise type fee.
Right. And keep in mind also that the money that's paid in bonuses comes from whoever buys that product. Somewhere around a third of that price when you buy an Amway product, about a third of it is bonus money, and it goes all the way up and down the line of sponsorship. So, at the very bottom, you might be a 3% level, and then maybe your sponsor is a 6% level, and so on and so forth up the line. And so, a lot of that cost that you pay for a product, or anyone, whether it's a customer or a distributor, it doesn't matter who pays for it, at least about a third of that is the bonus money. And so that has to be charged. There's no way that cannot be charged. And so that's built into the price of the products. And that's one factor that makes the products expensive. I think Amway's cleaning up on their own corporate profit. And so, it's, but they have you, right? That you're basically a captured market. When you're in Amway and you think it's legitimate and you're trying to, build an organization and maybe sell a product or two, that's just part of what the whole motivation is, and getting you to be loyal to the Amway products is because that's what the upline is promoting.
If you're making an income and you stop buying products, you lose your income. So it's not optional. You must buy those products. And therefore, if a person must buy a product, the person selling the product is, of course, going to charge more for it than what they would if they were in a competitive marketplace.
Well, as an upline, you better be buying the products, because if you're not, your downline is going to find out, and then they're not going to buy the products, and then you got nothing. You're right. So
it's the same as it's the same reason why a hot dog's more expensive at a stadium than at a milk bar, because the stadium's got no competition.
Right. You're
you're hungry. Competition.
Yeah, it's your only choice, right? You're hungry, and so you pay a lot more. Yeah. And everybody knows it, by the way. When they go to a ball game or whatever, they know it's going to be more expensive. It's not a surprise, right? Whereas with Amway, when they preach to you, hey, these are 20-30% less, or 20 to 30% discount off of retail, the expectation is, oh, I'm going to save money from going to a store, and that's just not true. It's just a big lie that Amway's been doing for decades, and that's why we do this show and other things to expose that, so that hopefully less people will join, and that way Amway will collapse. I mean, if they don't replace people very quickly, they fall apart, because the average person that gets in Amway spends less than a year, and then they drop out. And so there's a constant effort. They have to keep feeding the beast, so to speak. They have to continually bring new people in, because people are falling out. And, once it gets to be to a critical point where people are falling out faster than they can put them in, then the people that used to be next to the bottom are at the bottom, and it just keeps going up the chain as far as people quitting, because if you don't have a downline and you're not bringing in any income, eventually you're going to quit. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, in fact, go ahead.
I don't think you wouldn't be able to find another business anywhere in the world that has more trouble retaining their customers than what these MLM companies do. You wouldn't find a company even close that will lose 90% of their customers a year, and that's what Amway does. They have a customer base, and they will literally lose 90 to 95% of them every single year, year after year after year. So you've got to ask the question: if the products are so amazing, why did 90 or 95% of people using them stop using them within a year?
Right.
Coca-Cola don't have that problem. They don't lose 95% of their Coke drinkers every year. This is a unique problem to MLMs that other companies just don't have. Other industries just do not have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you still see Coke out there advertising, because they are looking for new customers all the time, and they're trying to maybe reattract someone that bought Coke, and maybe they haven't bought it for a while because it just didn't enter their mind. And then when they see the advertisement, they go, oh yeah, I like Coke, I'm going to go to the store and buy it again. So, but I take your point. There's a lot more loyalty to other non-MLM companies' products than there is to MLMs, whether it's Amway or others. In fact, that's another common line that, when people quit, they keep buying Amway products because they're so great. And I don't think I've come across more than a very small handful that would fit that definition over the years. So it just doesn't happen in any quantity. So if it was 1%, I would be shocked, put it that way.
You made a comment, though, about Coke doing things in huge volumes. The energy drinks in Australia, the Amway energy drinks, are the most consumed energy drinks in Australia. So they're also doing things in massive, massive volume. The difference is they're not selling to as many people, but the people that are buying it, like my dad, for example, he drinks nothing other than Amway energy drinks and water. That's all he drinks. And if he didn't think he could make millions of dollars out of Amway, he wouldn't drink them. He never drank an energy drink of any form before Amway had them. So he's not attracted to energy drinks. He's attracted to the energy drinks have the highest amount of PV on them. That's why he's drinking them.
Yes. Yeah, they're what's called core products, and you get more of a bonus by consuming those products. And I agree with you. I mean, we bought a lot of products when we were in Amway that we weren't buying